Hi, good evening, people. This is Andy from Andy's Personal Development, and I'm using this opportunity to really reach out to the beautiful people on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I'm taking this opportunity to share some very pertinent information with you with regards to the mission, the meaning, the goal, and the desires of Andy's personal development. I found myself in a position where, uh, at this juncture in my life, I have truly found a fulfillment with regards to my calling, my talent, my ability, and my skills, the thing that God has blessed me with the most. And as a result of that, I have a great desire to share with the people of the world. The opportunities that are before me were not the ones that I had dreamed of or I had even imagined. But what I understand about life is that no matter how far you may try to run, no matter what you may try to do, when your destiny's time has reached and it is the moment that you ought to step up to the plate and seize the opportunity that is before you, it happens. And that is my experience. I need to be an agent of change. I need to be the individual that works with people to seek the opportunities for transformation. And with transformation comes the ability to become a better individual, to make the changes that are necessary that we can live a better life, that we can focus on the things that are really important to us, that we can understand why we are here. What's the reason for our existence on planet Earth? Nobody is just a statistic or a number or just another person. Everyone is here because there's a reason. Everyone is here because there's a meaning. Everyone is here because there's a purpose. But the reason why most of us do not find fulfillment in life is because we don't find our purpose. We don't come to terms with and embrace that thing which truly defines us, that thing which tells us the world, this is the individual, that thing that defines our character and our mannerisms and our traits and makes us who we are, that truly helps us to understand why we wake up every morning, why we do the things that we do, why we are the way that we are. And once we get that understanding, once we come to that place of acceptance, once we come to that place where we embrace that real aspect of our lives that makes the difference, that makes us stand out in the crowd, so that there's no confusion about who we are. I'm telling you, that's the greatest feeling, or one of the greatest feeling that you can have in life. And I am at that place now. I have found that feeling. My first experience was really a spiritual experience. The fact that I recognized that I needed to have that level of intimacy with myself and the Creator made the biggest difference in my life. And I would say to you now, without any disregard for anybody's religious belief, but with due respect for your decisions with regards to your religious convictions and your religious influences, mine is one that took me to a place where my reality became my reality. And that is so because I believe that God is responsible for the gifts and the talents that we have that make us unique and that make us as wonderful and precious that we are and as we are in His sight. And when that moment becomes a reality in your life, somehow or the other, everything else seems to fall into place. A former British Prime Minister by the name of Benjamin Disraeli, he said, the greatest good that you can do for anyone is not out of your riches, but rather helping people discover riches of their own. I believe, in part, that's what I've been blessed to do. You see, at Andy's Personal Development, our concern is about transformation and inspiration, not motivation. And that might sound like a bit of an oxymoron because you're thinking, well, people need to be motivated. Well, the reason why motivation is not as important a mission as is inspiration and transformation is because motivation can come at any given time. Motivation is short-lived. It's like a jab of energy that flows through your system for a moment and it keeps you buoyant. But then after that moment has passed and after that moment is gone, what do you do next? It's like a show. Inspiration, because what inspiration does is that it gives you the ability to sustain the energy that you have from the motivation to go to the next level. And the next level after that is transformation. All of us need to have some level of transformation in our lives. And in part, that is what we intend to do here at Andy's Personal Development. So I'm a certified and accredited life coach and also a public speaker, a certified public speaker, a certified speech writer, and I'm also an author. I love singing. I've been blessed with a good voice. Thank God for that. But my main concern is being an agent of change and giving people the opportunity to understand that they have it within themselves, the ability, the tools to make the transformation that would lead to the change that is necessary in their lives. And one of the things that we do in coaching is that we help people to bring that to the fore. See, the thing about me is that I grew up in a home where my father was a hardworking man and he came from a family of many. I can't even remember how many brothers and how many sisters, but it was a large family. And two things my father taught myself and my two sisters. The first thing is that family is the most important thing you can have of value in this world and in this life. And I truly believe that. I absolutely believe that. And the second thing is people are people everywhere you go. You see, one of the things I remember about my father is that wherever we go, whoever we met, wherever it was, it did not matter the occasion or if he had seen the person 10 times for the day or the first time and he had never met them before in his life, it did not matter. He always said, how do you do? How are you doing? Hello, good to see you. Nice to meet you. And for us at times, it was kind of annoying and you'd wonder, why would he be so nice to everybody? What is it about, I mean, come on. But then as time grew and we became adults and we began to look at the humility of the man, we understood that his philosophy was really simple. It was just a matter of appreciation for everybody. He was just saying, I am okay and everybody else is okay. I am good and you are good as well. And that is, I think, what is lacking to a certain extent in the world today. We esteem people with some preconceived notions about what we have most of the time as limiting beliefs, and it's because of bad experiences that we've had in the past, and we tend to put everybody in the same frame, in the same perspective, and then somewhere down the road we realize that we may have been wrong because the evidence proves otherwise. But you know what? Life is about learning. It's about living, it's about understanding, and it's about embracing. Embracing what? Embracing reality. See, reality does not need to be taught. it needs to be understood. It needs to be accepted. And once you embrace reality, the truth of that reality is going to lead you into places where you can discover things about yourself that you never thought were possible. We are made up of body, mind, and spirit. Let God deal with the spirit. Let God deal with the mind, but we can take care of the body. There are certain things that we can do physically to take care of ourselves. And it is said that the people in the world really need to get three things. One, wealth. Two, health. Three, happiness. With our organization, we do not promise wealth. What we can give you is the opportunity to get happiness. And what we can guarantee you is that if you focus enough on yourself and prepare yourself to be as healthy as you possibly can, basically from your soul perspective, things can begin to get better in your life. You know, I'm a man of faith, and so the scripture tells us in 3 John, and it's the 2nd verse, Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. Here's the thing. What John is saying is that your soul needs to prosper. What does he mean by that? It's like whatever you put into your soul, whatever it is that you embrace in your soul, whatever it is that you are convicted by in your soul, whatever it is you allow in that space that is so precious and important and priceless to you, may it be something that can give you health, wealth, and happiness. If not, do not allow it to come into that space. I want you to think of it like this. Imagine that you're someone that owns a campsite. And in that campsite, you have people that would come and they would sign a contract and they would look at the policy. And you do a background check and you realize, okay, this person has passed all the criteria, they qualify, they can be in my camp because the rules that I have set, it looks as if they're in a position to follow those rules. And in addition to that, they can make the payment. But the time may come when someone may either break the rule or not be in a position to make a payment. Then you have to make a decision. Your decision then has to be based on the contract terms and conditions or the policy that you would have set for your camp. You see, you are the one that controls it because it's your camp. It belongs to you. So when you set your policy, when you set your terms and your conditions, you have to decide by those policy and terms and conditions how you are going to deal with anything that goes opposite to what you have set. Because when they signed, they knew what they were signing for. I say that to say this. Let your mind be that campsite that you desire what goes into it, what stays in it, and what motivates you, what inspires you, and what you're going to transform yourself to. Don't let it be somebody else's or something else's prerogative to do that. That is your responsibility. Your mind belongs to you. It is yours. You have the right to decide what goes in there, what stays in there, and what creates you as the character and the mannerism that later on comes out and people define by that who you are. If you take control of that, then you have the opportunity to have a greater impact and influence on the outcome of things in your life. The rest, you just leave up to God. Because remember, when we die, the body goes to the grave, to the earth from whence it comes. Our spirit goes back to God. And our soul, depending on how we are, in terms of our spiritual status, there's only one or two places it can go. I will not get into that because this is not what this program is all about. And so you would see from time to time on the breakout room, which is an extension of Andy's personal development for my podcast, you would see different guests coming on the show. And we're going to discuss different topics because what we are trying to do is holistically reach out to people to address every our lives, the challenges that we face, and what we can do in moments like those, so that we can understand that there's always a better way or another way in which we can deal with the challenges in our lives. The process of learning is never ending. But in order for us to learn, in order for us to understand how we can accumulate more and gather more knowledge and information and experience, is by two things. One, humility. Understanding that every day that we exist is an opportunity to learn. Life is like that. It teaches us lessons every day. But our mindset must be, when I get up today, there is something else that I need to learn because there is something better for me at the end of the day. That must be a focus. And two, you have to understand that in order for new things to come into your system, that you're going to allow, of course, you have to empty yourselves of the things that are old. You know why a lot of people don't become who they really want to be? Because one of the reasons why is because they are bogged down by being who they were or didn't want to be. But now recognizing that they can be better, it is tough because change is something that most of the times we resist. We resist the change, not because of the difficulty of the change, but because it's the effort that we don't want to make. Unless someone tells us that there's a benefit, there's a reason, unless someone shows us what we can gain as a result of making the change, we are going to find it hard to make changes in our lives. But change is inevitable. Change is also constant. And at times, change is necessary. You know how we know that? Look at what is happening with COVID-19. There is something about COVID-19 that you can't change, and that is it will run its course. The governments, the scientists, the biochemists, the virologists, they don't have no control over when it is going to end. What they can do is try to put systems in place, educate us, show us, give us the necessary information, the necessary data. But at the end of the day, that is something that no man has control over. And therefore, we should not be worried about it. What we should be concerned about is, what do we need to survive now and after we have come to a place where we can manage the effects and the negative influences of the pandemic. A lot of people who are leaders were prepared for the pandemic before it came because they understood that the course of this life, there are points in times when we'll have challenges that may seem insurmountable. But you know what? The reason why we have shoulders is because we are able to bear weight. We are able to take on responsibilities. And sometimes we take the opportunity to run away from the responsibility, thinking that it should be somebody else's instead of ours. What about a world where people begin to take responsibility for their happiness, their health, and their prosperity? That is what we want to foster. That is what we want to encourage. That is what we want to bring to the fore. That is what we want people to understand, to believe, to embrace, to come to a place where they say to themselves, you know what? If I take the responsibility for the things that happen in my life, I can make this place much better. because it starts with an individual. It starts with you. It starts with me. I took that opportunity. I made that decision. I made that choice that I wanted something better for myself, because I am not just another number or a statistic. I am someone who God has blessed with something that's valuable. And but when you share it, when you let it out, when you let it go, when you let it flow, it multiplies. It sends out a positive, endearing vibe, and it lets people know, hey, I am okay, but you are okay as well. So here what? I want to share my screen with you a little bit. And I want to show you some things about myself. And I want you to understand the reason why I'm doing this is because I need to reach out and let people know exactly why I am doing what I am doing. So, one of the things that I needed to do was to begin to study. And studying is empowerment. If you have a desire for something, you want to accomplish anything in life, you need to find a way to improve where you are so that you can move to the next level. And that means you have to make an investment in yourself. And education is an investment. And it's extremely important that we understand that. Because at the end of the day, if we don't make an investment in ourselves, we cannot expect change to take place. We cannot expect transformation to take place. But we have to understand there must be something that inspires you to want to get to that place. Life, as I said, is an opportunity every day for us to learn. One day at a time, 1% at a time, one step at a time. Rome was not built in a day. That's all it takes. So I have 3 certificates of achievement here, and they are from the Biblical Institute of Israel. The first one I did was Biblical Hebrew A, then I did the B level, and then I did Discovering the Hebrew Bible, looking at the Torah, which is the religious book of those who are involved in Judaism. And lately, what I decided to do is create a professional opportunity for myself by increasing my knowledge, but also increasing my level of certification. So I became a certified life coach. I did that on the 5th of January, 2021 with the New Skills Academy. And because of my work that I've been doing with Lions Clubs International over the past 18 years or so, I was awarded with a certificate of recognition by the international president for membership. My responsibility was to ensure that at least 30 clubs between Trinidad and Tobago did all that they could to maintain, retain, and recruit membership, keep them interested and keep them engaged. It was very challenging, but it was also quite a learning and rewarding experience for me. So I am awardee of the International President, an organization of 1.4 million people over 210 countries and territories and over 48,000 clubs. So I also did a certificate of completion in public speaking and speech presentation and speech writing with Udemy, an online university. And I did also an MBA certificate 1 with the same individual, the same tutor. Yep. And as far as my professional experience within my first career as a security professional, I did do my firearms training professionally. And in addition to that, I also had a certificate of participation in leadership, coaching, and mentoring skills. This was a 2 full day coaching period done by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce. As a business owner, I was involved in that. And I worked 3 years with a company by the name of TCI America. And I traveled throughout the Caribbean and Latin America area. And I have information here from the Police Welfare Association of Dominica. In Dominica, I work with the Police Welfare Association as well as the Fire Welfare Association, and the secretary here, Burton Celestine, gave me a recommendation after the project had been completed. It was a community development project. We did a lot of them throughout the Caribbean, dealing with different aspects and the development of people. I also work with the St. Lucia Police Welfare Association and the St. Lucia Special Olympic Committee. I did a program in Jamaica as well with the Jamaica Fire Brigade, and they also had a written commendation for me. And here's proof of my employment with TCI International. They are Boston-based American company. Yeah. I became a professional member of ASIS International. It was back in 2008. ASIS is the American Society of Industrial Security, probably the leading non-governmental organization in the world that deals with security professionals. In the early part of the business, I did a certificate of achievement for strategic business skills with effective management techniques, basic business skills, and it was an entrepreneurial training opportunity. I did not want to miss that. Now, I'm also an author, and you can check out my Amazon author profile page. It's at https://www.amazon.com author Andy Charles. That's www.amazon.com/author//Andy Charles. I have 3 publications there. This is my first, To Lose a Dream. This was done in 2013. And then recently I have 2 ebook publications on Amazon. This one is 3 Steps to Self-Fulfillment and Happiness. And I'll be doing a live podcast episode on Podbean at 10 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time with 3 Steps to Fulfillment and Happiness. I'll be doing a live episode on Podbean at 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on this book. And the other one is Lost in Transition, The Efficacy of Time, both written by myself. And if you want to support my efforts and our commitment, you can go to the information here and you can purchase any of these 3 books, particularly these 2 in the ebook section in Amazon. They are not expensive. Thank you in advance for that. So, services and pricing. So here's the services that we here at Andy's Personal Development has for you. Personal and team development, coaching, retreats, workshops, seminars, public speaking, and webinars. Right. So, you know, with everything in life, there's a price. And so my consultation or assessment fee for first time is free. However, after that, any singular session of coaching or personal development will be 200 TT per session or 50 US. If it's a team, and a team meaning in our circles, 5 persons and up, it is 500 TT or 250 US for the assessment. As I said before, the first time it is free. After that, there's a fee attached for my services. Retreats, team or group